In a world increasingly dominated by surface-level interactions, emotional manipulation, and the constant pressure to conform, over 70% of individuals will fall prey to some form of emotional exploitation during their lifetimes. Within the psychological minefield, however, exists a rare breed of men who appear immune to such influence, fortified from within and resistant to the social engineering that derails most people. These men are known as Sigma males, enigmatic, self-reliant individuals who are as mysterious as they are impenetrable. They do not merely survive manipulation, they render it ineffective. Unlike the alpha male who asserts his dominance through status, aggression, or loud confidence, or the beta male, who conforms and seeks approval to find his place in a hierarchy, the Sigma male forges his own path entirely outside the traditional social structure. He thrives in autonomy, often withdrawing from groupthink not out of antisocial tendencies, but to maintain strategic control over his time, emotions, and energy. His mind functions like a fortress, every thought filtered through rigorous introspection and emotional discipline. Sigma males see the world as a series of systems to decode rather than environments to conform to. Social interactions are not random. They are strategic moves in a psychological chess game. Financial systems, opportunities to be reverse engineered. Emotional attachments, they are not entered into blindly, but evaluated with the same scrutiny a lawyer might apply to a binding contract. To the Sigma, every connection is conditional upon mutual respect, transparency, and alignment with core values. Solitude, often feared by others, is not just a comfort zone for the Sigma. It is his power base. In solitude, he reflects, recalibrates, and gains clarity. Rejection, which breaks many men, becomes rocket fuel, an opportunity for redirection and reinvention. While others are paralyzed by social rejection or emotional manipulation, the Sigma male uses those very experiences as data points, lessons to strengthen his already formidable psychological resilience. This deep dive analysis is not a glorification, but granular deconstruction of what makes the Sigma male virtually unbreakable. Across 12 core psychological traits, we will examine not surface-level habits, but internal frameworks, mental protocols, and emotional algorithms that have evolved through painful experience, relentless self-reflection, and almost scientific detachment from the emotional noise of the crowd. These traits are not quirky habits or motivational cliches. They are evolutionary survival mechanisms, developed and hardened in the arenas of betrayal, ambition, solitude, and rejection. Through this breakdown, you'll discover how the Sigma male achieves clarity where others find confusion, strength where others crumble, and power in silence, where most scream for attention. 1. The Sigma male psychological arsenal. The Sigma male operates with a unique psychological toolkit that gives him an edge in environments where social cues, manipulation, and authenticity are constantly in flux. This arsenal is not defined by aggression or charisma, but by surgical awareness, emotional discipline, and the ability to detach from collective influence. Within this framework are two foundational tools that set the Sigma apart from typical social archetypes. 1.1 Human algorithms. The Sigma's behavioral decryption skills. Sigma males don't simply engage in conversation. They run real-time diagnostics on human behavior. While most people interpret communication at face value, the Sigma sees beyond the spoken word, tapping into involuntary biological signals that betray deeper truths. He deciphers people like code, using behavioral decryption to uncover what others try to conceal. He pays attention to micro-expressions, those fleeting facial movements lasting as little as 1/25 of a second, which are often impossible to control and reveal genuine emotions. These flashes of truth act as the Sigma's lie detectors. He also picks up on verbal hesitations, pauses, fillers, and stumbles that signal internal conflict or concealed motives. Layered into this is his analysis of paralinguistic cues, such as tone shifts, pitch elevation, or vocal tremors, which signal manipulation, fear, or hidden intentions. A notable case involved a corporate Sigma who uncovered a high-stakes lie during a tense contract negotiation. While others listened to carefully crafted words, the Sigma caught a subtle 0.3-second lip twitch, an involuntary muscular movement, that signaled the speaker was withholding critical information. He leveraged this insight to renegotiate terms, protecting his interests, while others remained oblivious to the deception. 1.2 The loyalty paradox. Conditional allegiance. Loyalty is sacred to the Sigma male, but it is never blind. Unlike the Beta, who gives loyalty in hopes of gaining approval, or the Alpha, who demands it as a birthright, the Sigma views loyalty as an earned and monitored privilege. His allegiance is tiered and entirely conditional, based on a private evaluative system that governs all relationships, personal, professional, or social. The Sigma's loyalty structure begins with the observation phase, a 90-day probationary period during which he closely monitors patterns, integrity, and alignment of values. There are no public tests, no dramatic ultimatums, just quiet data collection. If the subject demonstrates consistency and reliability, the Sigma moves into the investment phase, gradually building emotional and psychological trust based on real-world behavior, not declarations. But betrayal or deception triggers the termination protocol, an immediate and total severing connection. There are no warnings, no emotional confrontations, and certainly no second chances. The Sigma detaches with surgical precision, often without explanation, because to him, maintaining psychological clarity is more important than repairing relational fractures. This calculated response is rooted in biology. Neurological studies reveal that Sigma males process betrayal primarily through the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for strategic thinking and planning. Unlike others who react emotionally via the amygdala, Sigmas engage betrayal like a chessboard, coolly, rationally, and permanently. 2. Financial and social mastery. Sigma males are often underestimated because their power lies in their ability to operate beneath the radar. Unlike alpha males who dominate through overt displays of status or betas who seek security through societal validation, the Sigma male embodies a different kind of mastery, one rooted in invisibility, control, and psychological precision. Nowhere is this more evident than in the realms of finance and social interaction. Through carefully engineered tactics, the Sigma maneuvers both arenas with surgical intent, never revealing more than he must while securing maximum advantage. 2.1 Financial camouflage. The art of strategic wealth concealment. Sigma males are financial illusionists. They understand that visible wealth invites scrutiny, jealousy, and manipulation, forces that compromise autonomy. So, rather than broadcast their success, they employ what can be described as financial jiu-jitsu, a counterintuitive strategy of concealment that transforms wealth into freedom, not attention. One key tactic is income stream obfuscation. Sigmas often operate multiple revenue channels: freelance gigs, silent partnerships, niche investments, intellectual property royalties, but do so in ways that make their financial picture difficult to decode. Bank statements don't reflect the full scope of their earning power, nor do their lifestyles offer clues. This leads into lifestyle misdirection, where Sigma males purposefully project a modest, even minimalist, existence. While others chase status symbols like luxury cars or designer brands, the Sigma may dress in plain clothes, live in a modest-looking home, or drive an old vehicle, despite holding seven-figure assets. It's a strategic play to avoid envy, taxation, or opportunistic relationships. A perfect real-world example is a Sigma entrepreneur who drove a 15-year-old Toyota Corolla and lived in a modest neighborhood. Colleagues assumed he was barely getting by. In reality, he quietly owned 2 high-income apartment complexes downtown and had automated systems generating passive income every month. His strategy wasn't about hiding wealth out of fear. It was about weaponizing privacy. This is often called the gray man finance strategy, the ability to blend into any socioeconomic environment without drawing attention, thereby maintaining operational security. 2.2 Social thermodynamics. Adapting without compromising. If the Sigma male has a superpower in social settings, it's contextual fluidity. He doesn't inform, but he adapts. While alpha males assert themselves and beta submit, the Sigma adjusts without surrendering identity. This is what can be described as social thermodynamics, the ability to regulate his public persona like heat energy, depending on the environment. In corporate mode, the Sigma is courteous, efficient, and just involved enough to avoid suspicion, while withholding deeper opinions or personal information. He's a ghost in a suit, polished but non-provocative. In underground mode, he shifts gears, sharp, direct, often hyper-observant. This version of the Sigma is street-savvy, emotionally minimal, and impossible to fool. He's the guy who can navigate a negotiation with a millionaire in the morning and a hustler at night without changing his moral compass. And in elite social mode, the Sigma becomes enigmatic. He engages just enough to generate curiosity, but reveals little about himself. In high-level social circles, this aura of mystery elevates his status without effort. He doesn't dominate conversations. He makes others ask questions. This behavioral versatility gives him a tactical edge in psychological warfare. In hostile environments, he becomes forgettable, offering no emotional handles for manipulation. But in advantageous environments, he becomes unforgettable, the anomaly people can't quite place, yet never forget. The Sigma male's social and financial mastery lies not in being seen or praised, but in maintaining leverage while never appearing to seek it. 3. Emotional and psychological dominance. 3.1 The detachment protocol. Emotional exit strategies. When a Sigma male chooses to disengage emotionally or socially, he does so with a level of precision and detachment that is almost clinical. This process, known as a detachment protocol, unfolds in strategic stages. First comes energy withdrawal, where he reduces communication frequency, becoming less available and responsive. This is followed by an information diet, in which he stops sharing personal details, effectively closing the emotional feedback loop. Then, he enacts context removal, avoiding shared spaces, events, or routines that would prompt further interaction. As his presence continues to fade, he begins the digital fade, a subtle reduction of his online footprint that often goes unnoticed at first. Finally, he reaches the point of final silence, a complete communication blackout, where no responses are given, no signals are sent, and no trace is left behind. This systematic retreat mirrors Special Forces extraction protocols, silent, swift, and surgically precise, leaving no operational trace behind. 3.2 Perceptual echoes. The art of mental implantation. Sigma males also wield psychological influence through subtle yet powerful communication techniques. They're known to use seed statements, seemingly casual observations that plant ideas deep in the listener's mind, such as, "Interesting how people reveal themselves when angry." These thoughts often bloom later, reshaping perspectives long after the conversation ends. They also ask delayed effect questions like, "Do you think loyalty should be earned or assumed?" which linger in the subconscious and resurface with time. Strategic silence, typically lasting 3 to 5 seconds, is employed to create discomfort or prompt deeper self-disclosure from others. These techniques often mirror the principles of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and conversational hypnosis. Methods Sigma males may use unconsciously, leveraging embedded commands to subtly guide the thoughts and behaviors of those around them. For the Sigma male's core philosophies, 4.1 Self-author morality, the code beyond society. One of the defining traits of the Sigma male is his commitment to a personal code of ethics that transcends societal norms. Rather than blindly accepting pre-packaged morality, the Sigma embraces experiential ethics, principles tested and proven through lived experience. His values are dynamic, adaptable to new evidence and evolving understanding, rather than rigid rules set in stone. Central to this philosophy is the 100% accountability rule. Never blaming others, never making excuses. This mindset draws from the Nietzschean concept of self-overcoming, a relentless drive to become one's highest version, while incorporating modern game theory to navigate complex social systems with logic and foresight. 4.2 Rejection alchemy, transforming no into fuel. For a Sigma, rejection is not a setback, it's a data point. Their response to being denied or dismissed is a highly evolved psychological process. First, they engage in data extraction, objectively analyzing what the rejection reveals. Next comes pattern recognition, where they assess whether this event is part of a broader trend. They then activate the adaptation protocol, modifying their strategy or approach as needed. Finally, they execute energy reallocation, shifting focus and resources to more promising areas. This high-efficiency coping mechanism is backed by research. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Personality found that Sigma males recover from rejection 47% faster than the average man, thanks to their emotionally optimized mindset. 5. Advanced Sigma Strategies. 5.1 The Vanishing Act. Disappearing with strategic precision. One of the Sigma male's most enigmatic tactics is the calculated disappearance, what could be called the vanishing act. This maneuver is executed with tactical foresight. It begins with time selection, choosing to vanish during moments when the target or environment is distracted, minimizing resistance. The Sigma then employs narrative control, staying silent and allowing others to invent their own explanations, which are often more forgiving than the truth. After exiting, he engages in post-exit monitoring, observing reactions from a hidden vantage point to gauge impact. A striking real-world example involves a Sigma employee who quit via a sticky note after documenting over 200 company policy violations. His silent departure left leadership confused, and the organization eventually collapsed under the weight of its own dysfunction. 5.2 The Mirror Effect. Forcing others to self-reveal. Another sophisticated Sigma strategy is the use of the mirror effect, a psychological technique that prompts others to expose their true selves. This involves reflective silence, responding to questions with prolonged quiet that pressures the other person into filling the void, often revealing more than intended. They also use echo questions, such as, "Why do you think that important?" to redirect inquiries and elicit deeper introspection. Additionally, selective vulnerability, sharing just enough to invite oversharing, allows the Sigma to maintain emotional control while appearing open. These techniques closely parallel inverted read interrogation methods, which criminal investigators use to uncover hidden truths by flipping the emotional dynamic of the interaction. Conclusion: the unbreakable Sigma mindset. At the heart of the Sigma male's power is a profound form of psychological sovereignty. He refuses to outsource his self-worth to the opinions of others, his decision-making to societal norms, or his emotional state to external circumstances. This total internal control renders him manipulation-proof because he has no emotional levers for others to pull. He is also crisis-resistant, operating on pre-planned contingencies rather than reactive emotion. Most impressively, he is socially fluid, able to adapt to different environments without ever compromising his core identity. The final psychological insight is bold yet fitting. Sigma males may represent a new evolutionary archetype, one that fuses emotional intelligence, strategic cognition, and uncompromising self-ownership. In a world increasingly shaped by psychological warfare and social chaos, the Sigma male stands as a fortress of unshakable independence and inner strength. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content about Sigma males, explore the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.